Hey there, friends. Let me ask you something. Have you ever brushed off a pounding headache or a sudden wave of dizziness, thinking, oh, it's just one of those days? Maybe you've even felt a tightness in your chest but chalked it up to indigestion or stress? I get it. We've all been there. But here's the thing. When you're over 60, those little off moments can sometimes be your body sounding the alarm. And when it comes to high blood pressure, ignoring those alarms could be downright dangerous. Today, we're talking about when to call 911, the 3 critical signs that your blood pressure isn't just high, it's a silent killer. Now, I know that sounds scary, but stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll feel empowered, not afraid. Because knowing these signs could save your life, or the life of someone you love. Let's get started. First, let's set the stage. High blood pressure is sneaky. It doesn't knock on the door and announce itself like a common cold. It's more like a quiet intruder, creeping in over years. But sometimes it does send up flares, moments where your body screams, hey, pay attention to me right now. And when those flares go up, calling 911 isn't just smart, it's non-negotiable. So let's talk about the first critical sign, chest pain or pressure. Now, I'm not talking about the quick twinge you feel after lifting groceries or bending down to tie your shoes. This is different. Imagine a heavy weight sitting on your chest, like an elephant decided to take a nap right there. Or maybe a squeezing sensation, like someone's wringing out your heart like a dish rag. That kind of pain doesn't just come and go, it stays. And it might spread to your jaw, shoulder, or arm. Here's why this matters. Chest pain like this could mean your heart isn't getting enough oxygen. Maybe it's a heart attack. Maybe it's a hypertensive crisis, a dangerous spike in blood pressure that's straining your heart. Either way, your body's saying, help me now. Don't wait. Don't Google symptoms. Don't call your neighbor. Call 911. Every minute counts. Now, let's talk about the second sign, a severe headache with confusion or vision changes. Picture this, you're sitting in your favorite chair, reading the paper, when suddenly, bam, your head feels like it's in a vice. Lights seem too bright. Words on the page blur. Maybe you can't remember what you just read, or you're struggling to form a sentence. That's not just a bad headache. That's your brain waving a red flag. High blood pressure can cause swelling in the brain, or even burst blood vessels. Scary? Absolutely. But here's the good news, if you act fast, doctors can often prevent permanent damage. So if that headache hits like a freight train and you're feeling confused or dizzy, don't lie down and wait it out. Don't take an extra pill and hope for the best. Call 911. Your brain, and your future, are worth it. Now, before we move on, let me share a quick story. My neighbor, Martha, bless her heart, woke up one night with a headache so bad she said it felt like fireworks exploding behind her eyes. She told herself, I'll call the doctor in the morning. By morning, she'd had a stroke. She's okay now, but she'll tell you, waiting was the biggest mistake of her life. Friends, I share that not to scare you, but to remind you, you're worth the phone call. You're worth the ambulance ride. You're worth every bit of care this world can give you. So if your body's screaming, listen. Now, there's one more critical sign we need to talk about, one that's easy to brush off as just getting older. But I'll save that for next time. For now, let's take a breath. You're already doing something amazing just by being here, learning how to protect yourself. And that's something to be proud of. So let's make a pact, you and me. If you ever feel that crushing chest pain or a headache that rocks your world, promise me you'll pick up the phone. Not later. Now. Because you've got too much living left to do, too many sunsets to watch, too many grandkids to hug, too many stories left to tell. Let's make sure you're here to tell them. Stay tuned, and remember, knowledge isn't just power. It's protection. You know, after we talked last time, I got to thinking about how ordinary those critical moments can feel. One minute you're watering the plants or flipping through a magazine, and the next, your body starts sending signals that just don't add up. That's the thing about high blood pressure. It doesn't always crash into your life with sirens and drama. Sometimes it whispers. But when it does shout, we need to shout back, louder. So let's dive into that third critical sign, sudden shortness of breath or swelling in your legs. Now I know what you're thinking, shortness of breath? That happens to me all the time when I climb stairs. And you're right, it's normal to feel a little winded if you're pushing yourself. But this isn't about effort. This is about struggling to breathe when you're sitting still. Feeling like you just can't get enough air, no matter how hard you try. Or maybe noticing your ankles are so puffy, your socks leave deep ridges. Here's why this happens. When your blood pressure skyrockets, your heart has to work overtime. Over time, that strain can cause fluid to build up in your lungs or legs, like a sponge that's soaked up too much water. Your body's saying, I'm drowning here. And friends, that's not something you can fix with a glass of water or an extra pillow. This is a 911 moment. No debates. No delays. Let me tell you about my Uncle Joe. Stubborn as a mule, that man. Last summer, he started complaining that his shoes felt tight. Must have eaten too much salt, he'd say. But then he began gasping for air just walking to the mailbox. By the time he finally called for help, his blood pressure was through the roof, and his heart was in trouble. The doctors told him, another hour, and we might not have been able to reverse the damage. Now Uncle Joe's okay today, still stubborn but okay. But he'll tell you, ignoring those swollen legs and that breathlessness nearly cost him everything. So if you're sitting there thinking, it's probably nothing, ask yourself, what if it's not? What if picking up the phone right now is the difference between watching your grandkids graduate and, well, not? And here's the kicker, you don't have to be certain it's an emergency. If your gut says this isn't right, trust it. Let the paramedics decide. That's what they're there for. Pride doesn't keep you alive, action does. Now let's talk about staying prepared. Because when panic hits, it's easy to forget the basics. Here's what I want you to do. First, keep a list of your medications and allergies in your wallet or purse. Tape a copy to the fridge, too. Second, practice saying this sentence out loud. I need help. My blood pressure is dangerously high. Sounds simple, but in a crisis, those words could save precious time. Oh, and one more thing. If you live alone, invest in a medical alert button or a smartwatch that can call 911 with a tap. I've got mine right here. Host taps a sleek device on their wrist. And it gives me peace of mind knowing help is just a press away. You don't need the fanciest gadget. Just something reliable. Because when seconds count, fumbling for your phone isn't a risk worth taking. Let's pause here for a moment. I know this is heavy stuff. Talking about emergencies can make your heart race, and not in a good way. But here's what I want you to remember, you're not powerless. In fact, you're doing the most powerful thing there is, arming yourself with knowledge. Think of it like this, when a storm's coming, you don't just hope for the best. You check the weather radar. You stock up on batteries. You make a plan. That's all we're doing here. We're preparing for the storm so you can stand strong in the middle of it. And if that storm ever hits, you'll know exactly what to do. So let's tie this all together. We've talked about chest pain that feels like an elephant on your chest. Headaches that blur your vision and scramble your thoughts. Shortness of breath that comes out of nowhere, like a sucker punch. These aren't just bad days, they're red flags. And red flags mean stop. Act. Call for help. But here's what I haven't said yet, you deserve that help. Every bit of it. You've spent decades caring for others, raising families, building careers, showing up for friends. Now it's your turn. Let the world show up for you. Next time, we'll talk about what happens after the call, how to work with your doctors, adjust your lifestyle, and keep your blood pressure in check for the long haul. But for now, take a deep breath. You're already ahead of the game just by being here. And that's something to celebrate. Until then, keep this nearby. Check your numbers regularly. And if you ever feel those critical signs creeping in, you know what to do. Call. Don't wait. Don't wonder. Just call. Your story's too important to leave unfinished. You know, after a storm passes, there's always this quiet moment, a chance to clear the debris, mend what's broken, and plant new seeds. That's where we are now. We've talked about recognizing the storm, those critical signs that scream, call 911. But what happens after the sirens fade? How do you rebuild, strengthen your foundation, and keep your blood pressure from creeping back into danger zones? That's what we're diving into today. Because surviving an emergency isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of a new chapter. And I want you to write that chapter on your terms. Let's start with the first step after a crisis, working with your doctor. Now, I know appointments can feel overwhelming, waiting rooms, medical jargon, that nagging fear of bad news. But here's the truth, your doctor isn't just there to treat you. They're there to partner with you. So walk into that office with a list of questions. Ask, what caused this spike? Are my medications working? What side effects should I watch for? And if they mention words like hypertensive crisis or AC inhibitors, don't nod politely. Say, can you explain that in plain English? You deserve clarity. Oh, and here's a tip, bring a loved one or jot down notes. My friend Carl brings his granddaughter to every appointment. She's his medical wingman. 2 sets of ears are better than 1, especially when stress makes it hard to focus. Now, let's talk about lifestyle changes that stick. I'm not saying you need to overhaul your life overnight. Small shifts, done consistently, add up. Start with your plate. That daily ham and cheese sandwich? Try swapping in turkey and avocado. Craving something salty? Roasted almonds with a pinch of sea salt beat a bag of chips any day. And movement? It doesn't have to be a marathon. My morning routine is 10 minutes of stretching with the radio on. Some days I dance like nobody's watching, because honestly, nobody is. Host chuckles, pouring the smoothie into a glass. Find what feels good. A walk in the park, water aerobics, even vacuuming the house with gusto. Your heart doesn't care how you move, just that you do. Here's something we don't talk about enough, stress in your heart. You've lived 6 decades or more, of course you've got stress. But chronic stress is like pouring gasoline on high blood pressure. So let's put out the fire. Try this. Every morning, before you even get out of bed, take 3 deep breaths. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6. It's like a reset button for your nervous system. Or grab a notebook and scribble down one thing you're grateful for, your grandkids' laugh, the smell of coffee, the way sunlight hits your favorite chair. Gratitude isn't just fluffy talk, it's science. It lowers cortisol. It protects your heart. Let me tell you about my Aunt Ruth. After her hypertensive crisis, she felt defeated, like her body had betrayed her. But then she said enough. She started taking her meds at the same time every day, using one of those pill organizers with cartoon cats on it. She swapped her nightly ice cream for Greek yogurt with berries. And every Sunday, she calls me and says, "Guess what? I'm still here." Aunt Ruth's secret? She focuses on progress, not perfection. Some days, her blood pressure still spikes. But now she knows, it's a detour, not a dead end. Friends, this isn't about living in fear. It's about living with intention. You've already done the hardest part, learning to listen to your body. Now nurture it. Check your blood pressure weekly. It takes 2 minutes. Keep a log, and celebrate when those numbers dip into the safe zone. And if they don't? That's not failure. That's information. Remember, you're not just managing a condition. You're reclaiming your independence. Your ability to travel, babysit grandkids, or finally take that painting class. That's the goal. So let's make a promise, to ourselves and to the people who love us. Let's promise to keep showing up. To take our meds, yes. To eat those veggies, absolutely. But also to laugh loudly, love fiercely, and never stop learning. If this video helped you, share it with a friend. Drop a comment below telling me one small change you'll make this week. And hit that subscribe button, because this journey isn't a solo ride. We're in it together. Until next time, remember, every sunrise is a chance to choose your health. Choose it boldly. Choose it joyfully. And keep choosing it day after day.